asked if we should do it. Folks, Mayor of Space, Igor Kerman. You had a very short reign in space, by the way. Very short term in office. Igor Kerman, Figures Hydro. Gav, you took care of him, man. You kept him alive. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. Let us continue on and recover the vessel. That's what we're going to do, recover the vessel. I love the Ballad of Jane. You're right. I love the ballad. Yeah, oh my gosh. Nathan Fillion is totally a geek. He might just do it. He's geeky enough that this may just work. This is such an awesome show. Such an awesome show. Let's go back to the map. And let's talk about something completely different. Let's talk about turning this into a lander. We've been able to get the pod into space. However, it is not actually a lander. We can't land this way. Take my love, take my land. I don't even think I can sing that. That's probably copyrighted. I would sing it so well that they would probably mute me for copyright violation, right? I better not sing it or they'll mute me. Alright. 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 Okay. Let's build this into a lander and let's learn some more stuff. It's awesome to learn stuff. I like to learn stuff. No, I know. I was singing the Ballad of Serenity. I wasn't singing the Ballad of Jane. You're always so correcty, dude. You always have to, like, correct. You always have to be correct. You're so correcty. You're so correcty. We can't land this way? Of course we can. I know what the Ballad of Jane is. Jane, the man they call Jane. I don't actually know how the intro goes, but I know the Ballad of Jane is different than the Ballad of Serenity. Jeez. Do you feel better? Let's make a lander, folks. Let's make a lander. So, this rocket, man, we can always build it again. It didn't exist when we started playing the game. It doesn't exist now. Let us construct a lander. Let us construct a lander. We know what delta V is. Delta V is the amount, is the capability, is our ability to change our situation in space. Or change our situation, really, not even space yet. It is totally going to be, what was I going to say? I don't even know. Delta V is the amount of our ability to change our situation. We want to go from landed on Kerbal up into space, into orbit around Kerbal. That's my orbit. Those are my orbit hands. Go into orbit around Kerbal. This is so much fun. Go into orbit around Kerbal. We then want to change our situation from orbiting Kerbal to orbiting the moon. It's a different place, right? I'm going to have to spend some delta V to do that. I then want to go from orbiting the moon to landed on the moon. That's going to cost me delta V because my situation is orbiting moon. My situation is landed on the moon. That is a change in situation. Going to cost me delta V. I then want to go situation landed on the moon, add a Kerbal to it, situation take off from the moon and come home. That is another situation change. That is a whole heck of a lot. That is a whole heck of a lot. Oh my gosh. You guys are hilarious. Alright, moving right along. Wait, getting that part. It will be a problem. That is a whole lot of situation changes, right? That's a whole lot of situation changes. The question is, how much delta V do we need for all of those situation changes? How much delta V is that going to cost us for all of those situation changes? So let's see what we've got here. What we've got here. We need some way to figure out, between all the changes in situation, how much delta V that's going to cost us. We don't just want to guess, test, and revise. 0.0925 is how much a Kerbal weighs. We can actually look at a specific image that will tell us, where is it at? The delta V subway map. And this delta V subway map, hiccups, tells me what different, situation changes cost us. It's a great map. There are other maps that are more detailed, that are more accurate, that are more precise, that are prettier, that are whatever. Yes, it's time for the subway map. Camus knows it, dude. There are other maps. There are other maps that are different. I get this every time. People are like, you shouldn't use that. It's not exactly accurate. It's missing a thing, whatever. No. No. This is the simplest map that I've got. I probably need to make my own map. But this is the simplest map that I use. It comes across at a resolution that I can stream. You can actually see it. That's why I use this one. I know there are a couple of different ones, but this is the Delta V subway map. You can click on the link that Artak just put in there. Was that Artak? Yeah. You can click on the link that Artav just put in there. Or you can search for KSP Subway. If you forget the link, just remember, search for KSP Subway. Because like a subway map, it's like, hey, look, I'm at Kerbal Station, and I want to go to Moho Station. How much does it cost me? It's a subway map. If you search for KSP Subway map on Google, Bing, Yahoo, whatever the search engines the kids are using these days, if you search for KSP Subway, you'll get this map. And it tells me, that was a follow, who was it? Jack Minecraft Live. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate you. Welcome to Kerbal Bootcamp. Learning how to read a Delta V map right now. That's what we're doing. So, on here, you see all the different situations. Each one of these little node thingies is a situation. This is situation landed on Kerbal. This is situation low Kerbal orbit. This is situation Kerbal geosynchronous orbit. This is situation out touching the moon. Moon sphere of influence. This is situation low moon orbit. This is situation landed on Elu. This is situation low Joule orbit. This is situation landed on Ike. All of these little dots are situations. What you can do is add up the numbers between point A, situation A, and situation Z, or wherever it is you want to go, and you can figure out how much delta V you're going to need to get there. So check this out. To go from Kerbal up to low Kerbal orbit takes 4,550 meters per second. We had a rocket that had at least that much, so we got up there. We're good to go. We are good to go. To go from low Kerbal orbit to the moon, it cost 860. Do you see that there, 860? Am I streaming it correctly? Let me make sure. Yes. There we go. All right, click on the window. To go from low Kerbal orbit out to the moon cost you 860 delta V. To go from moon intercept to low moon orbit cost you 210. That means to go from low Kerbal orbit to low moon orbit is going to cost you 860 plus 210, 1070. 1070 delta V. 1070 delta V. So for 1070 delta V, you can go from low Kerbal orbit to low moon orbit. Then, once you're in low moon orbit, you can actually land on the moon for another 640. So the entire mission would be 1070 plus 640 to get you landed on the moon, not including the lifter to get you up into orbit, not including just the payload package. I'm going to show you why we do this. What we can do here is add these things up. Yes, Dr. Peppermaster. I will drink. I do need to drink. So, so awesome. Leo Crack, thanks for the follow. Tiny Tank as well. I appreciate y'all both. Welcome to Kerbal Bootcamp. I'm Dallas Valdez. I teach people to space. So, we're going to have to design at least 1070 plus 640. 1070, 640, 1800-ish, roughly, right? 1800-ish to get to the moon and back. Sorry, ooh, wow, I just said that wrong, to get to the moon. What I didn't add up is getting back from the moon. So, getting back from the moon is going to cost me even more. To go from the moon, landed on the moon, to go from low moon, or to go from land on the moon to low moon orbit is going to cost us another 640. We're going to have delta V to get back home. Now, it doesn't exactly work this way. There's one thing that it doesn't do. It doesn't, yes, Dr. Peppermaster, it doesn't exactly work this way. It doesn't work such that I would go 4550 plus 860 plus 210 plus 640 plus 640 plus 210 plus 860 plus 4550. If I build a rocket, that's what I need to get back. Why? Because Kerbal has an atmosphere. Kerbal, being a planet with an atmosphere, is able to help you expend delta V. What does that mean? That means as you go through the atmosphere, it will actually slow you down. It will slow your craft down, and instead of having to put a rocket pointing backwards and using rocket fuel and rocket engines to slow yourself down, you can just dip your happy self into the atmosphere and let the pushing through the atmosphere, let the compression, let the friction, let everything that going through the air so fast does, go ahead and pull energy out of your orbit. So you don't need to add that up two ways. In fact, we just need to have the 4550 plus the 860 plus the 210 plus the 640 plus about another 800. Plus about another 800. We don't have to add the 860 back, and we don't have to add the 4450 back. You don't need to add those things in because you can see right here on the map, the arrows are telling us that inbound aero braking is possible. Kerbal has an atmosphere. We can use it to aero brake. That is something to keep in mind. That's a more complex topic we'll talk about whenever we do Interplanetary Kerbal Space Academy streams. But for now, just know you don't add those numbers up both ways. So to get to the moon, to go from situation low Kerbal orbit to situation landed on the moon is going to cost me, what did Mage say, 1071 or something like that? I don't even know. You can't ask for quotes, Mage. You can't actually ask for quotes. People are spamming it too much. Let's see here. It doesn't get a specific quote. Well, no, wait. I don't know what you were talking about then. Ignoring you. Did you get ignored? Did you? Maybe you did. I don't even know. Anyways. There's a timer, I guess. 1710. Thank you. So let's put that down. Let's get rid of that. There we go. So it's 1710. Actually, I want to write down more details than that. It's 860. Transfer to moon cost me 860, right? Plus 210. So let's do 860 plus 210. Let's do 1070, right? And then landing on the moon. Landing on moon costs 640. Taking off, I'm just going to guess that it's around 800. Taking off and going home cost 800. Oh, 8,000. That's the wrong number. And liftoff from Kerbal cost me 4,500, roughly. All right, 4,500. Now the trick is, we need to design a rocket that accomplishes all these things. Could we just do this? Could we just say 4,500 plus 1070 plus 640 plus 800? What is that? 45, 55, 6,000, 62, about 7,000. About 7,000, right? I'd be more generous with it. Yes, Igor. Man, I know it's your first boot camp. Yes. Yes, I will definitely go over that, man. I will definitely go over that. That's a great thing. That's a great thing. We could just add all of these things up. They're about 7,000 total. Could we just make one rocket that has 7,000 meters per second of delta V and try to accomplish the mission? Yes. We could try to do that. We could just have a single stage to moon rescue, returning home, and do it. That is not a particularly efficient way to design rockets. That's not a particularly efficient way to design rockets. What we actually want to do is design a rocket that operates in stages, that has different parts of the mission. You turned off your engine at 75 or something. 80. I usually, Venus in transit, I usually cut engine when I get an apoapse of 80K. I usually cut engines when I get an apoapse of 80K, as long as I've been burning at the 45-degree angle. So, we could do all these things. What I want to do is break this mission up into segment. This is the liftoff from Kerbal segment. This is a transfer to the moon segment. And then this is the taking off and going home segment. Right? And we'll build our rocket such that we have a big part that lifts us off. And then we ditch it. And we leave it behind and we continue on with another smaller rocket. Then we get another rocket that gets us from low Kerbal orbit to the lunar orbit, right? And that's going to cost us 1070. We can use that little piece of our rocket to push us further on. Then we'll have a part that can get us landed and get us home. That will push us further on. We're going to break this up into what's called stages. Let's go talk about that. Stages. What is this? Oh. You've posted it multiple times. Only post it one time. Because then I look at it again, and then I'm like, oh, you've posted it multiple times. That is a funny comic, though. Let's see here. This music makes DOS sound creepy. Cool. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, I think we're good. We're good. Okay, excellent. So we'll just leave the notes up. We'll go ahead and get rid of the subway map. We will go ahead and start building this lander. The trick is, with Kerbal Space Program, you build your rocket from the top down. You start with the last part of your mission, usually, and you go backwards. The last part of your mission, the last part of the rocket that you build, is typically the first part of the rocket that you use. So what I've done, I have already done this right here. Now let's put this down here. Oh, look at that. You can actually see through it. Oh, you can't because of the keys. I'm going to have to figure out something for those keys. I'm going to ask Cybertech if he can make it so I can move those things around. That would be a huge help to me. So, does Song Request work? No, Song Request does not work. I just play the chiptunes kind of in the background while I go. Let's build a rocket. I am going to, of course, we've already got our control authority. We know that we're going to need structural pieces, so let's go over here and grab this guy. Nope. Let's grab this guy. This part is so ugly. It's so huge. I mean, I get it. It's got Rockomax in the name. Mention me the winner's info. Thank you, Sayung Mi. Thank you for that. You gotta run. No worries about it. No worries at all, Sayung Mi. No worries at all. Rude Master Rockets. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it, Igor. I'm gonna get to it. This part is so ugly. Sayang me again, thank you so much. I will give away 6 copies today, and one of them will be yours. Thank you so much for the donation, man. I really do appreciate it. This piece is ugly. It's very tall. I don't like it. I'm going to toss it. I'm going to get this piece. They are a little bit different. This one here, when it decouples, let me actually demonstrate right quick. When this one decouples, the big one, it will stay attached. Whoa, buddy. It will stay attached like that, so that that piece stays attached to that piece. This little lower profile piece, when it decouples, let's see here. Put 2 capsules together like that. It looks awesome, doesn't it? It totally looks awesome. If you put this piece on, when you decouple this, it will actually come out in 2 pieces like this. This piece will be separate from this piece, will be separate from that piece. So you'll end up with 3 total pieces. 3 total pieces. Is that what's called? How much delta V would you need for what? I don't know what that means. I didn't see the question come through. That's okay. Alright. Let's see here. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're good. So we've got that. We've got that. We can go ahead and put this over like that. Did we miss anything else? Thanks, dude. Sayang me. Again, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. We go to Jewel and Jack Super High Jewel. I don't even know what y'all are talking. I don't want to have the game. I'm just cruises. I don't know what word that is. Is that English? Probably. So now we've got this. We know we're going to need an engine. I'm going to maybe do some poodle hype. 1671. Interesting. 1.31 thrust to weight on Kerbal, but 1671 total delta V. Let's talk about 2 things. What was that? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can use. You can totally use a space plane. You can do a VTOL. You can do a space plane. You can do all sorts of stuff. You can do all sorts of stuff. There are definitely lots of different things, but we're sticking with rockets. No, Remery, dude, we're still doing boot camp right now. We're designing our Lunar Rescue mission. And adding 500 delta V is too much. I usually would add wonderful waffle. I'm not quite sure. I didn't quite sure which. Oh, a polar orbit. I see what you're saying. You're talking about getting into a polar orbit. I'm gonna read chat less and talk more. So this right here, 1671 delta V, 1.31 on the pad. Wait a second. Where is this engine gonna be used? Is it going to be used on the launch pad at Kerbal? Is it going to be used in the upper atmosphere of Kerbal? Is it going to be used in Kerbal's orbit? No. This engine is actually going to be used on the moon. We need to figure out what the situation at the moon is. Kerbal Engineer can help me with that. You'll see up here, you see something that says Kerbal Engineer redo 1.0.12 Atmos. That's interesting. Why is it telling me Atmos? Why is it saying atmosphere? Probably short for atmosphere, right? Let's click on compact and bring it out. You can actually see that right now we are in atmospheric mode. Check this out. It's around Kerbal. If you go ahead and you turn off atmospheric mode, all of a sudden we go from, what was it, 1671 meters per second of delta V all the way up to 2414 meters per second of delta V. That's good. Why did it change? Why did it change? Why is it that we get a different amount of delta V in atmosphere than we get in a vacuum when we're not in an atmosphere? What is going on here is that every engine in the game, here's the poodle, every engine in the game has an efficiency rating. The efficiency rating is called specific impulse. The shorthand for specific impulse is ISP. It actually is impulse, subscript specific, right? Specific impulse. Specific impulse is the efficiency of the engine, roughly. The efficiency of the engine. So, my specific impulse is different when I am in atmosphere than when I am in vacuum. The engine will get different efficiency when it is in atmosphere versus when it is in vacuum. It's usually a lot more efficient. It's usually a lot more efficient when it's in vacuum. So look at the poodle engine here. Look right here. You can see the engine ISP. 270 ASL, 390 in vacuum. Look at the difference. Higher numbers are better. In atmosphere, ASL at sea level, so down at the beach at Kerbal, right next to the water, this engine gets 270 efficiency. I'll tell you right now that's terrible. That's not great. Numbers below 300 are terrible numbers. What you can do is look at the vacuum efficiency. If you take this poodle engine into vacuum, you get it off the beach, you get it into orbit, and you are out at the moon, or you're in low Kerbal, or you're in space where there's no atmosphere, you will get 390 efficiency. That is actually a very respectable efficiency for an engine. 390 for Kerbal Space Program. 390 is pretty good. ASL is at sea level. At sea level. Right there on the beach at Kerbin, right? 390 in vacuum is pretty darn good. Let's look at some other engines. Like this little guy, RocketMass 487S. 300 at sea level, so not great, but not horrible. 350 in vacuum, so not great, so not horrible. Let's look at this guy, the LTV-30. 320 at sea level, 370 in vacuum. All right, that's cool. Let's look at this one. 290 at sea level, 320 in vacuum. Not a great engine all around. Not a great engine all around. Easy to mount, but not a great engine. Marshmallows. Thanks for the follow, Marshmallows. I appreciate it. Welcome to Kerbal Boot Camp. Let's look at some more engines. This one here, 220 and 290. Wow, that's terrible. 220 and 290 is terrible. This one right here, 320, 230, 250. That's a special engine. That's a solid fuel booster. We'll talk about those in a little bit. That's not great. Look at this one. The atomic rocket motor. 220. That's pitiful. 800. That's great. Right? So, this atomic rocket motor, if we use it in atmosphere, we're idiots. We should never use the atomic rocket motor in atmosphere. What we want to do is get the atomic rocket motor up into space, into vacuum, and it gets an insane amount. Of delta V. It gets an insane amount of ISP, double what our Poodle's getting. It gets 800. So let's try that. Let's go ahead and instead of a Poodle maybe, let's put a nuclear engine. 4853 meters per second of delta V. That is not too shabby at all. The problem is this does not look like a very good lander. Do you see how tall it is? It's like landing a skyscraper on a pencil. That's not something that we would want to do. Also, look at the thrust that this thing puts out. The Poodle that we were using puts out max thrust 220. And weighs, what does it weigh? It weighs 2 tons and it puts out 220 thrust. The nuclear engine weighs 2.25, 2.25 tons, and it only puts out 60 thrust. Our thrust to weight would be 0.35. But wait a second, DOS. Didn't you say earlier that weight varies? How are you seeing the efficiency numbers? You don't have the detail into. Remory, right click to bring those out. That was a great thing to ask. I am right clicking on the engine. If you highlight over any part, you can right click on it. You can actually see right down here. Look, you see where it says right mouse button, less info? You can actually right click on any part in the game and you can get more or less info. See? Like that. Just right click on the parts. There you go. Alright. So we're good to go. This gives us very little thrust. This gives us what? A fourth of the thrust. The engine to the left of the Poodle. What's this engine? This engine, or what's the other engine to the left of the Poodle? This is giving us very, very little thrust, right? Yodel. Interesting to see if he's here. So, we don't have very much thrust. This is 60 kilonewtons of thrust. The Poodle was giving us like 220 kilonewtons. Yeah, 220, okay. Moving right along. What if I was to remember what I said earlier, where it's not mass to weight. It's, sorry, mass to weight. That'd be a terribly useless thing. What we can do here, mass to weight. It's just quote, Nox Fuchs. If you just do exclamation point quote, you'll get a random quote. Sorry, I messed it up. Alright. What I said earlier was that my thrust to weight varies based on the body that I'm orbiting. The moon has a lower gravity than Kerbin, therefore my thrust to weight will be different because my weight will be different. With a given mass, with varying gravity, my weight will be different, so my thrust weight will be different. Kerbal Engineer will actually allow me to look at what my thrust to weight will be in different places. I can click on this, Kerbin, right here, and it will give me the different bodies, the different celestial bodies. And instead of Kerbin, I can click on the moon, like that. Click on the moon. Some things change. Let's actually go ahead and put that over there. You can see that with this engine on the moon, we're going to have 7.90 thrust to weight. That's an awful lot of thrust to weight. That is an awful lot of thrust to weight. What we can also do, we can take off the Poodle, we can put on the nuke. On the moon, the nuke will give us 2.12 thrust to weight. Let's look at another engine. Let's look at this little guy. What is this? Yeah, the max thrust is 30. Let's put this teeny tiny engine on there. You may not believe it, looking at the rocket, but on the moon, that engine will allow us to take off. Oh my gosh. On the moon, that engine will allow this craft, fully loaded with fuel, to take off. Not only will it allow us to take off because the thrust to weight is greater than 1.0 on the moon, it will give us 2566 delta V. 2566 delta V to burn out that fuel tank. That is totally going to work. Machete didn't give it, did not. I don't even know. Use that engine. Do it. I'm not. I'm going to keep it simple for boot camp. I'm not going to worry about struts and that sort of stuff. So, that little engine right there would allow this craft, fully fueled, to take off from the surface of the moon. The engine is so overpowered. Squad doesn't need to fix it. Squad doesn't need to fix it. It's a great little engine. The 2477, this one? This one's terrible. This one's efficiency is terrible. I would never use this engine. 250 and 300, I don't think this one's good at all. You washed your engine in a washing machine and it shrunk. It is a little bit overpowered. I don't think they need to fix that engine, though. It's good to have that engine in the game. It's good to have that engine in the game. You can fix it yourself. You can edit your config file if you want to. So, I am going to keep it simple for boot camp. This engine is way overpowered for what we need. It really is way overpowered. But for boot camp, I'm just going to go ahead and use it. It's extra tons that I don't need, right? Looking at this, look. It's 2.0 tons versus this little teeny tiny engine. We could actually just use this one. That engine right there would work fine as well. 1.97 thrust to weight, 2752. We could totally use that engine, but I don't know. Huh. You know something? You know something? I can actually, let's do a vote! Hey, look, we've got 3 engines. Look, we've got 3 engines. Let's do a vote. Let's do a vote. And I will do what boot camp wants me to do here. We've got 3 engines. Let me make it so you can see them. There. We've got a Papa Bear engine, we've got a Mama Bear engine, and we've got a Baby Bear engine here. I will toss it in there. I will toss it in there. 4. Let's see here. Let's do a pull, open, baby. Let's see here. Pull, open, and we'll do a Papa engine. We'll do a Mama engine. And we'll do a Babby engine. There you go. Pull open. Which engine do you want? Which engine do you want? Left of the poodle? No, I don't want to use the engine left of the poodle. Pull open. Papa, Mama, or Babby? Because I need to go get myself another drink. Vote in the poll, folks. Vote in the poll. There you go. Vote. Exclamation point with the number you want. Here you go right here. I'll highlight it for you. Das Valdez started a poll with the options. 1 for Papa, 2 for Mama, 3 for Babby. Vote. I'm going to go get myself a drink, and I will be right back, y'all. Baconella, you have now cast your vote for Mama. Nice. Yeah, we don't do this Hunger Crest stuff. I'm back. I forgot to put up the AFK message right quick. Alright. Poll's going to be closed. Poll's going to be closed here. Let's see what it is. I haven't even looked. No option to have brain fried push with RCS. A brain fried engine. We should just strap him to the bottom. Alright. Let's see here. Let us go ahead. No 909, no alternator, no piece. Ooh, the other one doesn't have it either. That's interesting. That's actually interesting. But I'm going to go ahead. I am going to go ahead and let's see. Poll close. Poll close. Here we go. Oh, Radioactive, thanks for the follow while I was gone. Alright. Papa gets 10 votes. Mama gets 15 votes. Babby gets 37 votes. So it looks like everybody wants to go with the baby engine. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. If we go with the baby engine, I will say, where was that even at? Let's see here. Wow, I hope that was like a complete, just permanent ban. Just don't even give that guy a chance. That's ridiculous. Igor had a very interesting, yeah. Igor had an, I said that I would ask the chat. So Igor had a very, very, very useful comment. Igor told us that even if we use this engine, landing on the moon with a 1.2 thrust to weight is not enough thrust to weight, and that's an absolutely excellent comment. That is an absolutely excellent comment. Because whenever I do the landing, what did I just see there? Fuel transfer does not require a mod, Kenny. What we want, if you're building your first lander, that's actually a great, dude, Igor, that's a great thing. If you're building your first lander, right, you want to have at least a 2.0 thrust to weight. Because you need to have the ability to correct mistakes that you make. You don't want to be coming into the moon and not have the ability to slam on the brakes if your thrust to weight is too low. If your thrust to weight is too low, I'm drinking some Dr. Pepper, you will probably crash into the moon. That's not a good thing. Excuse me. So what I will do here, it would probably make the most sense. If you are doing this on your own, it will probably make the most sense to use this engine right here. This is probably the one you would want to use. It's way overbuilt for the mission. 29, what is that? 2414 Delta V, but 7.9 thrust to weight. It's a lot more engine than we need. If you were building it on your own, I would probably recommend going with this engine for simplicity's sake. Right? For simplicity's sake. You can put this nice decoupler at the end of it. It's a nice solid rocket. We should be good to go. However, for the stream, I'm going to do something a little bit different with a Rafflecopter stage. What? I don't even know what that means. For the stream, I will go ahead and use the small engines, and I'll show you how to fix this. We said we wanted at least a 2.0. We wanted at least slick, sick, and glorious radial mount 2 small engines when chat has spoken. That is what I'm going to do. I would probably recommend, if you're doing this on your own and you're just getting used to it, I would go ahead and use that poodle. However, drink. Yes, Lord Pepper. I will use this engine, but I'm going to use more than one. There's two things that we can do here. We could always just reduce the amount of fuel we have. Let's see. If we go with the half tank, that right there gets us a 1.72 thrust to weight. So that's still not really high enough. Plus we've only got 1607 Delta V. Landing on the moon and going home would be 800 plus 640, what is that? Landing on the moon, 8 to 6, 2, 1440. That would be 1400. There's not a lot of overhead in there. There's really not a lot of overhead in there. I just don't think that that's enough Delta V. We could go for a more complex design using drop tanks and stuff. Since this boot camp, I won't. I'm just going to go and put this tank on here. And I'm going to radial mount me a couple of those engines like this. So we could just put like this little strutty McBobber thingy here. Now let's not use the struts. Let's use little pylons. Yes, this should be good. Let's see what we get from 2 of them. Right like that. So I've got the little pylons. I need some way to mount them. I usually do this. I don't know, squad needs to fix this. But I usually use these little tiny RCS tanks. We don't actually need the RCS in them, so I can do that. But they're one of the smaller parts that radial attaches like that. See how that attached to the surface? And then I could put that on there. Come on. Nope. Nope. Alright. Let's just go down to 1x symmetry, put it on, and then put it back on with 2x symmetry like this. There we go. Okay. So, Caboose, take it easy, man. Take it easy. So we've got this. We've got this little tank on there. We don't actually need the RCS in it. There is another tank like this. Where is it at? That you can use that actually has fuel in it, but it won't surface attach. You can't actually get it to attach to that thing. Look, I mean, I'll show you. It doesn't work. You can't put it on there because this one does not have surface attachment. You can't put it on. So this little yellow tank, while we don't actually need the RCS, we do in fact need to be able to surface attach it like that. And so that is what I will do, just like that. That looks fine though, that looks fine. Take it easy, Caboose and War Wizard. Thanks for letting us know what you're going to go doing. Using the Werner engines. We could totally just do the Werner engines. Arbremer, I'm not going to get into the Werners for that. Yes, for boot camp, that's a more advanced topic, Arbremer, or sorry, Igor. That's a more advanced topic. I will totally cover that in a different like landing stream, but I'm not going to go over that. We know all of those things, but for boot camp, remember, I know you're kind of showing off, right? Which is okay. You've played Kerbal Space Program before, but for boot camp, we really try to keep it simple, right? And this is actually a lot more complex than any boot camp I've ever done. I mean, we're using larger pods. We're using these attachment engines like this. Usually, I don't do this. What are we on the thrust to weight? 2.39 thrust to weight now. 2.39 thrust to weight. So I don't want any of this RCS. We just emptied out those tanks. We're just using it as an attachment point. Let's go and do this. That's plenty of thrust to weight to do the landing. 2517 delta V. Isn't 3 inherently more stable than 2? No, 2 is fine. 2 is fine for what we need here. 2 is definitely fine for what we need here. Let's go ahead and put the fuel lines on there. Again, I have to feed fuel out there. Actually, I probably don't, but let's just say we're going to feed fuel out there. So I've got fuel lines going out to the engines that are attached out on those little nacelle things. That looks like a nice rocket. That looks like a nice lander. 2.39 thrust to weight on the moon. So not only can it take off, it can also, tiny tank, keep it clean. Keep it clean. Alright, keep it classy in my channel, please. 3 is inherently unstable, as it turns out, in terms of thrust. The way the game simulates the physics, you usually don't want to go with 3 parts when you're dealing with engines and stuff like that. I would usually go with 2 or 4. So, let's see here. Sergeant nailed my first landing while matching the RCS keys to center the lander at docking. So it might be it. Yeah, nice. I gotcha. Nice. No, it's all good, dude. It's all good. Well, somebody didn't get that one. Let's go ahead and take that one. Keep it classy in my channel, please. Let's see here. I was just giving you a little hard time, man. I appreciate you being here. But this is a more complicated thing. That was really the only response. Thank you, Tiny Tank, dude. We're straight. We're cool. So we've got a lander. We need to put some additional things on our lander. I've been talking too much. I've been interjecting with chat too much. Let's not do that. We know that we're going to need some landing legs. So let's go over here and do this right here. There we go. There are different landing struts in the game, right? These big landing struts, let's see here. There we go. Those are pretty darn big landing struts. The different struts have different mass, different capabilities. Over here on the utility tab, you can see I've got like these little lander legs. Let's put these little guys on there. I don't know, just use your gut. Does it really look like that is a good way to land that thing? That huge craft with that little teeny tiny landing legs, that looks ridiculous, doesn't it? That looks absolutely ridiculous. You had it set to Kerbal. Nice. You had it set to the wrong body. Alright. Dude, Nellygun, thanks for following along. You can always go with Bad DOS. Yes, Bad DOS is totally cool. Those landing legs don't look good. Could we just spam more of them? Yes, we could totally just spam 8 landing legs on there. Actually, it kind of looks cool. What I'm actually going to do, let's look at these landing legs. Can we do these with 3x symmetry? Would that work? I mean, even those look a little bit... Whoa, I didn't mean to click on that. Even those look a little bit not beefy enough. You know, I'm a little worried about those. So let's see here. I want to design a craft that boot camp people can use that has a lot of impact tolerance down there. Astrolink, thanks for the follow, and also So the Omega, looks like I missed you. I am going to design a craft that looks like this. I am totally going to design a craft that looks like this because I would like my boot camp cadets, if they're building the same sort of craft, to have some impact tolerance. Could we land it with nothing? Yeah. Of course we could land this with nothing. We don't even have to put landing legs on there. We could land it right on the can if we go slow enough. Could we use the little legs? Yes. Could we use structural elements? Yes. Could we land on batteries? Yes. Could we put a claw with the Kerbal's face down there and land on him? Yes. We could do all of those things. But for boot camp, I'm going to build it with these big old beefy Amelabits. Amelabits. Thanks for the follow as well. Thanks for the follow as well. Moving right along. We've got this big beefy landing legs. We've got, what else do we have? We're going to need a way to climb down off the rocket, aren't we? What else do I need? That landing leg. Oh, let me talk about this. Let me talk about this. Would that make the rocket tilt any? Venus in transit, yes. Since there's 2 landing legs on one side and 1 landing leg on the other, they're actually symmetrical. So in theory, in real life, they shouldn't cause the rocket to have any asymmetric thrust, but the physics engine doesn't get it exactly right. If you put engines in 3x symmetry, you'll have slightly asymmetrical thrust. It shouldn't really be that way. It shouldn't really be that way, but in Kerbal Space Program, it really is. It really is not exactly right. 3x symmetry is slightly unstable. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. But in Kerbal Space Program, it slightly is. It slightly is. Can we land with umbrellas and underglue? Yes, probably, Arbremer. Yes. We definitely wouldn't want to go with 2 landing legs, right? 2 landing legs would not be a good plan. Let's actually try it right quick. We all know that 2 landing legs. Is that 2 landing legs? Yes. Let's go out there and launch this rocket and see what we've got here. Yeah, the thrust should be. Jaboan, you're right. The thrust should be, but it's not actually. The rocket will try to veer off one side. That doesn't look good. That is not how we go to space, as it turns out. We don't want 2 landing legs. That is just a bad plan. Let's go back. What a waste of time, right? Everybody knew that wasn't going to work. Let's go back and let's add 3 landing legs. Like that. And let's go and launch this one. This one should probably work. 8 landing legs is so stable you can't even handle it. I can't even handle how stable that is. Can we go with 1 landing leg? Yes, let's just put 1 landing leg at the bottom. 3 landing legs. 3 landing legs. Das, brain fried. They're over on the they're on the utility tab. I'll show you when I get back over there. So what you can do is doing a gravity turn right off the pad. Nice. Yes, Jaboan, that's why the 3-engine rockets have problems. That's why the 3-engine rockets have problems. They theoretically should not have problems, but the physics doesn't quite get it right. It doesn't quite get it right. I don't know why. I don't understand why. But that right there looks fine. Hey, why wouldn't we use 4 landing legs? I prefer 4 landing legs, right? Let's go and make 4 landing legs instead. 4 landing legs is clearly going to be better, right? Remember, every piece of whatever, every part that we add to this craft, every bit of math that we have looked at, every bit of mass, that's what I meant to say, every bit of mass that we put on this craft is going to remove the delta V. Check this out. Without landing legs, 2517. With 1 landing leg, 2493. With 3 landing legs, 2446. Das, I prefer 4 landing legs. With 4 landing legs, 2440. Oh, that's 3 landing legs. With 4 landing legs, 2424. So I always split the difference. I always split the difference, right? 1/3 plus 1/3 is greater than 1 for a computer. Nice. So what we are doing here is, could we put 4 landing legs on there, and would we have more impact tolerance, that sort of stuff? Sure, but it's a balance between adding parts you don't need. This craft will land perfectly stable with 3 landing legs, and we'll get another 22 meters per second of delta V. Is that a lot of delta V? Not really. Just keep it in mind as you do it. I usually make craft with 3 landing legs. And I do that because it's the difference between 2 is not enough because you'll fall over, 4 is more mass that you don't really need. So that is what we're doing. You think you know a way to do 1 landing leg. Oh my gosh. What, Dash, you should start recommending for your tutorial streams. Editor extensions? No, I'm not going to because they're going to redo the VAB. I thought about that, and I'm not going to do it because being the VAB in the next release, and so editor extensions is going to become kind of obsolete for that stuff. So I'm not going to start. Doing that. I have thought about it. People are always telling me to do editor extensions, and there is a reason that I don't do it. All right. Thing is, what? Oh, it would require landing the class some places completely full. Every bit of math is going to remove the delta V. Shut up, brain fried. What else do we need here? What else do we need? Yeah, Igor, if you haven't seen the stuff, Sensei Steve, silence. All right, moving right along. What else do we need? We need power generation. So let's put some solar panels on there. How long did the stream last? How long did boot camp last? Oh man, it's like you're right, it could. Malice Draco, that's how I landed the refinery as well. I had 0 meters per second. 20 meters per second could get it to you. Lone Panda, I don't see what you're saying. Anything like mods after boot camp? Shooting missiles at boats and other destructible things. Krylon Rocks, that's not usually what I do. Landing lights. Tell me what else I need here, guys. Tell me what else I need here. I need some power generation, I know, so I'm going to put these guys on here. In just 2x symmetry. Actually, let's use these. Look at this, even this. Every bit of mass, every bit of mass counts. Every bit of mass counts. These parts right here, these solar panels, 0.0175. Those are the ones that do not have a cover. These right here, 0.025, double the mass, right? Same exact solar panel, but double the mass. One has a cover, one doesn't. They change your delta V. If I just use these, let's see here. I wish that this node was better on this piece. It's so annoying. These right here go from 4.6 to 3.8, so that costs us 8 delta V. These right here go from 4.6 to 35, so that cost us 8, 9, 10, 11 delta V, right? They cause different, they weight difference, weights, they have different masses, I mean, and they give you different amounts of delta V. I'll just toss those on there for now. Actually, no, I like the other ones. They're fashionable. Let's put the fashionable ones on there. Gotta have a little fashion in boot camp, right? We'll bring those solar panels back home with us. There. There we go, 2x symmetry. All right, let me see what's going on here. Pondafar. Just because we can. Just because we can. Line up the hatches. Okay, line up the hatches. We need a dorsal battery. I remember Mage told me about the hatches. Let's put a dorsal battery on it. I'll tell you what that's for later. It's a battery in 1x symmetry on the part of the ship that has the flag behind it. Right? Check the cockpit legs. Cockpit legs? Oh, you mean the ladders. Yeah, let me line up the ladders. I do need to do that. Do I need a ladder? Yes, I do. I do need a ladder. Oh, no. Oh, man. Oh, we can't do that. Man. Man. That's lame. The root node of my craft. The root node of my craft right now is this. That is the node that you started with. So when we started, in the beginning, there was darkness. And Das said, let there be a part in the VAB, and this one appeared. That was the first thing that I put down, right? That's the first thing. Dude, Cow and Chicken, thanks for the follow. King of Joseph and the Son looks like King of Hosean. Looks like I missed that as well. Sorry, guys. Sorry for missing those. But here is what we are going to go. Let's see here. This was my root node. And what I wanted to do was rotate this root node around. The problem is if I rotate the root node like this, it's not going to control the way I want it because this pod's going to be empty. The pod's going to be empty. Rotate the big pod. No, 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 no. I don't want to do that. I want that big pod to be my root node. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take that off, that off, that off, that off. Take the pod off. Take the chute off. Throw that away. Make the big... Nope, not that one. Not that. Make the big pod my root node. There we go. Put it back into the middle of our exploded view. Then get the little pod. Put it on top. Actually rotate it around. If you didn't know, you can hold down Shift and you can press Q and E to rotate a part like this. What I'm doing now, I'm actually rotating the part. This is usually why I don't use this thing because it's too complicated. There you go. To make those ladders match up, that is not exactly matched up. So I'm going to hold down Shift and press Q and E. There we go. That looks matched up, doesn't it? Yeah, that looks matched up. Alright, good deal. Then we can put that back on. Then we can put these back on. Hey. Then we can put those back on in 2x symmetry. Then we can put our solar panels back on. Then we can put these back on. Then we can put the dorsal battery back on in 1x symmetry like that. Then we can put the rest of the rocket together. There you go. That was completely a fashion concept. Dude, Pink Out Cup, get you some sleep, man. Get you some sleep. Thank you for watching. The solar panels. What? The solar panels. You're going to the moon, no need ladders in the low gravity. I'm going to put a ladder on there anyways. Put them on the service module, DOS. The pod has broken colliders and your fashion panels are off-center. You're right. The fashion panels are off-center. You know what? I've always wondered what happens if you mount things on this. I heard tell of a thing that was telling me that if you mounted panels on that... Fashionable. Yeah, that looks good. They may or may not explode. I'm not sure. Let's find out. There you go. Now they're on there. We should be good. Alright, gotcha. Got Malice's comet. Put them on the service module. Got it. What about the solid state panels? Jabolin, we could do that. DOS, do you need a ladder? Yes, let's put a ladder on there. You don't need a ladder going to the moon. The Kerbal's RCS jetpack, as y'all have seen, the Kerbal's jetpack is actually enough to get you there. Well, let's just go ahead and put that mobility enhancer there. That reaches the ground, so we're good to go. What else did we need? Check the cockpit legs. Mage, I didn't know what that was. Check the cockpit legs. Oh, you meant the ladders. The ladders, okay. Line up the hatches, dorsal battery. Got it, yep. Why we're using 2 pods? Because we can. DOS needs something. I don't know what that means. Forgot to add decouplers for legs because you won't need them. We could put decouplers on the legs when you're going home. We don't actually need that. More landing legs can be useful when you're landing taller landers. Yes, Gloobo the Mad, you are correct. In fact, let's talk. Let's talk about something here. Let me go ahead. Underglow dorsal battery. Got it. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. All right, good deal. Experiments. We could do experiments. You could totally do experiments. I'll do the staging last. So, we need lighting, and I was just going to talk about... DOS, backup battery, safety, solar. Ah, okay. All right, all right. Wait a second, I was just going to answer something, then I made sure there were no more questions. How come you're not using the lawn chair? Make things simpler. That's okay. Rocket thrust, no, that's not it. Going to the moon, ladders. Wait a second, there was something that somebody said that I wanted to say. Add decouplers. RCS fuel. Oh, yeah, we don't need the RCS fuel, that's right. Oh, Gloobo the Mad. Okay, Gloobo the Mad was the one that said it. What I try to do with my landers, I try to put my center of mass. I just clicked. Let's get this notepad out of the way. I try to put my center of mass down here. See that center of mass? I just clicked right there to get that yellow ball to occur. That's where the center of mass is. I try to put my center of mass inside the triangle formed by the landing legs. Do you see this right here? You see how that is? Oh, there's a triangle that's formed. If you are able to put your center of mass inside that triangle, the craft will be less likely to tip over. Let's see here. If I remove that, yeah, that's going to put me up. So as I burn that fuel to do the landing, that is just at the top of the pyramid. What I can do, if I can get that center of mass lower, lower, lower into the triangle of the pyramid, what I can do is make this thing a lot more stable. So let's add the fuel back. And let's put these things as high as we can while we still have clearance. Actually, that would be great if we attached them to that. Oh, that actually is really cool looking. I wonder if that'll work. I've never actually done that before. That is pretty close. That's well within the tripod. I feel like I would be better if I had them a little lower. Like that. Those actually kind of clip through a little bit. I think that's okay, though. A pizza and Dr. Pepper to your doorstep. What? That right there, it's a tripod, right? If you've ever seen something, lower the engines, those barely weigh anything. It's mostly the fuel in the pods. This way, our center of mass will be within the center of the thing. The center of mass would be inside the triangle formed by the landing legs. That is what I would be wanting to do there. So that looks great. That looks great. Alright, let's see here. So let's go ahead and retract the legs. Some people were saying that I needed underglow. Wow, those don't actually fold up on us very well. That's okay. Whatever, that's okay. Alright, let's go ahead and put the underglow on there. Quick, color, now. First one to say the color. Here, look, I'll do it in chat first. Color. Anytime I say color, that means give me a color. The chiptunes are actually really loud right now. The chiptunes are actually really quiet. I have them almost turned off, which is interesting. I'll be happy to tweak them down a little bit, but they're like 50% of the volume they usually are. which is interesting. There's the Benny Hill team. Yeah, they're 50% the volume I normally stream them at. So I don't know what the deal with that is. The chiptunes are actually very, very quiet right now. Where was it at? Where was it at? Brown. I don't even know how to make a brown one. How do I make a brown one? How do I make a brown one? What? You have a chute blocking the crew hatch. We'll test that. We'll test that. I don't think that that's actually going to block it. But we'll test it. Parkland is able, so you're fine doing it now. Air Force Blue. I don't know how to do brown. How do we make a brown light? I'll go ahead and toss a light on there. Alright, it's better if you just say it again than telling me to scroll up. I mean, don't just say scroll up, just copy and paste it in there if I missed something important. Almost none of the slider. Brown is variant of orange. Use color picker to make brown. Use blue. Let's see here. Brown. I'm going to go with brown. This is not going to be a... here, look, we can actually tuck the lights in underneath these nacelles. There we go. What does that look like? Okay, that's straight up and down. I'm just going to put one light on this side. Brown. Brown is dark orange. Use tiny bits of each, but then it'll be very... I'm going to have to take this down to the floor. Then I'll turn the light on. That's white. Anything in matching amounts will be white. It'll just be a softer white. That's the way that works. Brown is dark orange. Yeah, but how do you make orange? Hang on. Hang on. Let me just go like that. I can't actually scroll down anymore. So, not very much green. That doesn't look good. Not very much blue. Okay, well, that's a brown. It looks like we can't really make brown. Set the colors to the following. 102, 50, 0. Okay, 102, 50 on the green, and 0 on the blue. That's kind of a yellowish. That's kind of a brown, I guess, huh? Yeah, that's kind of a brown. Alright. 0.4 red. It's actually just the 0.4 red, 0.2 green, 0.2 green. A little blue, all red, little blue, medium green. That's tan. All red, little blue, medium green is not brown. All no blue. That's actually kind of an orange. Good enough. Good enough. There we go. There we go. Good enough. That's good enough. That's brown enough for government work, y'all. We're not going to spend all of boot camp trying to make the light brown. Alright, let's keep on going over here. I'm also going to add a spotlight that is going to be white. The white is the best spotlight, I think, in terms of being able to do a lander. Because having a white light allows you to see the ground from a long distance away. This is kind of like a floodlight. This is kind of like a spotlight. 0 blue. I think we're just going to go with it. I think we're just going to go with it. 160, 82, 45. 120, 50. You guys are nuts. Hang on. 120, 40, 50. That's purple. 120, 50 doesn't work. That doesn't work. That is close enough for me. That's kind of a orangey, brownish color. Alright, that looks fine. Inline battery on the bottom. We don't need that. I don't need more power. It doesn't look brown at all. Alright, the last thing, we're just going to go with it. That's brown enough. That's brown enough. That's brown enough. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's do that. Alright, there we go. Blue doesn't work if you're on a planet that's blue. Alright, let's see here. Alright, we're good to go. We're good to go. So we have done all of this stuff. We've got the rocket on 88% red, 37% green, 6% blue. Oh my gosh. What have I gotten myself into? I'm never asking y'all. Y'all have completely broken the asking for color hype. You can't do 88%. 88% red, 37% green. You've only gotten 5 increments. And then 6% blue. That looks worse than mine. Alright, let's see here. We should be good now. We've got power generation. We've got, are those the straight ones? Yeah, 1x6. Okay, we've got power generation. We need a dorsal battery. We've got a dorsal battery. We've got batteries in the pod. What else? What else? What else? Is there anything else? Ah, unneeded things. The last thing here, we need unneeded things. So let's go ahead and right-click on this pod. I am not using monopropellant in this mission. I am not using monopropellant, so watch what happens. My Delta V, 2435, 2435. I'm going to remove the monopropellant out. And that right there got us 30-something delta V, which is awesome. This pod here also has 10 monoprop in it. Let's remove it. That's going to get us up to 72. So what was it? 35 to 72. We got like 40 delta V. We got rid of 40 delta V by removing the unnecessary monoprop that we're not going to be using for this mission. Alright. Why not use separatrons for the landing legs? Not going to go into that. We're not going to go into that. Not going to go into that. I buy shirts on eBay. Dude, good job. Good job. What did you just... There you go. Landed on Duna for the first time. Let me look. Congratulations. That's a cool setup. Look, that's a cool setup too. That probe. Is it ion powered? It looks like it's ion powered. It's probably not ion powered. I don't see any solar panels on it. Good job though. Congratulations, man. I love the mission reports that come back. Alright, we should be good. According to Color Picker, brown is red 33, green 0, brown 0. I don't think that the lights actually work that way though in the game. Unfortunately. They just get dimmer. They just get dimmer. That would be like a light red. That wouldn't be a brown. That would be like a light red. Anyways. This is a Mooner lander. Smaller LFO parts. Gene, I did go over that. Let me show you, since you asked. The smaller LFO parts will not actually attach. You can't actually attach them. I'm not going to put them over there. But you can't... Sorry, radially attach. You can't radially attach those things. That will not work. You cannot radially attach the things. So that is not something that I could put out there because I've got them mounted that way. Now, could I put them there on top of the axial point? Yes. But... done deal. That's why I did those. I use those just as mount points. Somebody said octo struts. The octo strut would weigh less, but I'm not going to go with it. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's just go ahead and do this. Let's just go ahead and do this thing here. This lander should be very capable of landing on the moon. The thrust to weight is good. The body is fine. The delta V is fine. The burn time is fine. I think we're good to go. I think we're good to go. Yeah, it needs to be fixed, Gene. I don't even understand. I don't even think that that's an intentional thing. By the way, whoa, I don't think that that's an intentional thing. I just think somebody, when editing those parts, forgot to fix it. So, I'm cleaning some stuff up here. There we go. Okay. Let's just close that. There we go. Alright. Yep, they won't attach that way. Now we need to build the next part of our rocket. See, this is why during boot camp I don't go into using the big pods and stuff. Because it takes too much time, right? Using these different designs and all that sort of stuff. I know we're learning a lot, but it makes... I should already be on the moon in terms of boot camp time, and we're not on the moon yet. It's 7 o'clock. I should be on the moon at 7 o'clock. So that's why I usually don't go with the bigger parts and that sort of stuff. I usually go with the simpler, smaller rockets. This is just... we're giving it a try for a different boot camp. But let's move right along. We talked about our mission. We have plenty of delta V for landing on the moon and coming home. Plenty of delta V for landing on the moon and coming back home. We now need to transfer to the moon. We need a delta V that has 1070 delta V. So let's go ahead and put something here that has at least 1000 delta V. I'm going to use the big stage decoupler. I know it's ugly. I wish it was half that thickness, but what can you do? I'm going to use... Throws the tablet back to a corner. What? Are you back? PC restored back. Cam, welcome back. Automate all the things. You're welcome, dude. No worries. Thank you for streaming KSP. I totally appreciate it. Let's go ahead and put another fuel tank in here. We just need 1,000 meters per second of delta V, and from here on out I'm going to try to keep it simple. I put that fuel tank on. I'm going to put the Poodle on. 1346 delta V, 5.0 thrust to weight. That right there is a great Mooner kicker stage. That's all we need. That's a great Mooner kicker stage. I did. Actually, I did. That's what I used at the top. I did use that at the top. I thought about using it again, but I wasn't going to go into the fact that it wouldn't leave orbital debris, blah, 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 blah. You really just came in to show your gratitude. Fine, you don't actually want to watch me. You don't actually want to watch. That's lame. Nah, dude, I'm just giving you trouble. I'm just giving you trouble. Thanks for stopping by, man. I totally appreciate it. How dare you use a stack strip editor and create space junk, Brosidon! We're not going to ditch that till we're re-entering Kerbal, so it'll burn up in the atmosphere. Good times. Good times. Wings. We don't need wings, Sensei Steve. Alright, 5.0 thrust to weight, 1346. That's overbuilt. We're just going to call it. We said we needed 1,000. Kicker stage. Is that from Kerbal to moon orbit? It's from Kerbal orbit to moon orbit. Kerbal orbit to moon orbit, so it's 1070. It's 1070. Just to transfer the moon is 860. Let's look at it again. Just to transfer to the moon is 860. But our stage is actually going to put us in orbit around the moon, another 210. That's why it's 1070. That's why it's 1070. So to go from LKO, situation LKO, all the way out to situation low moon orbit is 860 plus 210, 1070. That's what we're doing. Let's go ahead and close that down. Let us, alright, we've got that all done. What else do we need? What else do we need? It will burn in Atmo. Yep, that's exactly right. Poodle is OP. Poodle is OP. DLR Burner, Geister Wolf, Sensei Steve. Thanks for the follows, guys. Welcome to Kerbal Bootcamp. I'm Das Valdez. I am going to the moon. Alright. So that's our kicker stage. I am now going to put my lifter stage on there. What was the next part? The next part was landing on transfer to the moon. We've got that liftoff from Kerbal, 4,500. Okay. Let us continue. Let me show you how. Let me show you how. Beastinator. Search for KSP Subway. KSP Subway will get you that Delta V map. So we need 4,500 Delta V to get in orbit. Remember what I talked about, though. Remember how the engines have different efficiencies at sea level and different efficiencies up in space? They're different efficiencies. I am not going to be burning at sea level the entire time. Hopefully I'm not at sea level for very long at all. What I need is 4,000 Delta V, according to Kerbal Engineer when set to atmospheric mode. So let's set that up. Let's go there. Let's go to Kerbal, atmospheric. Make sure that it is like that. Make sure you are on Kerbal. Make sure you're at atmospheric, because this next part that we're going to do, the next part that we're going to do is going to be what gets us from low Kerbal to landing on Kerbal up into low Kerbal orbit. That's what we're doing next. That actually looks really cool. That's like the hugest, poniest pod ever. There we go. Do that. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to design two stages here. I'm going to design one stage that's a kicker stage and one stage that's a lifter stage. Basically, I'm splitting my launch into two parts. I'm splitting my launch into two parts. Number one, I am going to have what's called a lifter stage. And the lifter stage is going to get me from the launch pad out of the soup. From the launch pad out of the soup. So it should get me up to around 15,000, 20,000 kilometers, right? 20,000 kilometers, 20,000 meters. Then I'm going to have a stage called the kicker stage. And the kicker stage will actually help me start missing the planet. Remember the phases. We want to get off the planet, and then we want to get around the planet. So the first stage, the lifter, will get me up off the planet. It'll get me altitude. It'll get me out of the atmosphere. And then the kicker will help me go around the planet. Let's put that together. I have some very, very, very basic rules here, right? For the lifter and the kicker. You never changed celestial body on Kerr. Thanks, Alice. No worries, dude. Mysterious Mage. No worries. What I'm going to do is design a kicker stage. The kicker stage should have 1,500 Delta V and a 1.5 thrust to weight. Let's see what we can do for that. 1,500 Delta V. That's probably going to be a big tank like this. And 1.5 thrust to weight. So let's go. Let's try the skipper. What is that going to get me? 1.37 with 1261. We're in an engine hole. That's not good. We're in an engine hole. Madboard. The dorsal side has the flag behind it in the VAB. If you don't rotate the pieces, the dorsal side has the flag behind it in the VAB. So this is not quite going to get us there. 1.37 thrust to weight, 1261. That's honestly really close. That's honestly really close. Let me see what I get if I just put one more tank. 1.5, it's just what I teach. Everybody's going to start telling me, Das, that's not the most efficient way to do it, blah, 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 blah. I know. What I am doing right now, is I have a very, very simple thing that new players can follow in order to get into orbit. That's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm doing here. I don't want to design something that's too complex. I'm not going to teach asparagus. I'm not even going to teach onion. I'm not going to teach solid boosters. I'm just showing you a two-part rocket that if you follow this, it's very easy to remember the numbers. If you follow this design, you will get into space every single time you launch. So let's see here. Let's see here. We are then going to... 1.5 is excessive. It is. It is a little excessive. Igor, it is a little excessive. That's why I'm about to tell you that I'm okay with 1.25. I usually just say 1.5, 1,500 because it's 1.5 and 1,500, right? The numbers are the same. And then 1.7 and 2,500. That is what I usually do. And it's easy for people to remember. That's what I do. So let's see here. That stage is good to go. I want this to be 1.5. It's actually 1.25, which is a little low for my taste. But you can do it however you want. You can do it however you want. If you're new to the game, if you make it 1.5 and 1,500, it will be easy for you to get into orbit. The next stage is going to be the lifter stage. And on the lifter stage, there you go. Well, this rocket is going to be freaking huge. There we go. That's on the lifter stage. On the lifter stage, I want to have 1.7 and 2,500 right here. So on the lifter stage, I want a number here that says 2,500 and 1.7. So let's add some of these big orange tanks. That is a insanely tall rocket. That's okay. We're trying to keep it simple. Let's put a mainsail on there. That's 1.6. The mainsail can actually carry more fuel. Like that. Let's go ahead and put a little bit more fuel on. Like that. With the mainsail, 1500, 1.47. I'm going to hold down Alt. I'm going to press left click, and I'm going to make me a copy of that whole setup. Did you know that? Did you know you can make copies of parts of your rocket? For example, if I wanted to copy everything from the kicker down, I could hold down Alt. I could click right there, and I could make a copy of that. That is totally a thing. You can totally make copies of parts of your rockets like that. So I made a copy of that setup, and what I'm going to do is set it up kind of Orion style here. Actually, kind of Delta IV Heavy style. I'm going to put it on with 2x symmetry like that, and I'm going to learn that that's way too much thrust, and that's way too much Delta V. What does that mean? Way too much thrust and way too much Delta V. You could go with this. If this was your... I need to keep a small tank. Yeah. If this was your rocket, you could go to space right now. It's fine. It's fine. You've overbuilt it a little bit. This is a little bit more fuel than it needs. What I am going to do is take all these things off and take these tanks off like this and put smaller tanks in there. Like this right here. There we go. No. There, I had it. Nope. There we go. There we go. Alright. So that's 2581 and 2.38 thrust to weight. That is actually too much thrust to weight. That's actually too much thrust to weight. It's going to be okay. And I'll show you what to deal with it. This rocket is in a weird mode. This rocket is in a weird mode. It's just a weird mass because the engines kind of occupy certain blocks. And this rocket is just in a little bit of a weird block right now. In fact, look, we could totally do this. We could add some weight to it. Just add unnecessary weight to it. There you go. Then we could strut it in. Let's just strut it in right quick. So I'm going to put struts like this. And I'm going to put struts like this. I'm happy to be seeing more and more struts on real rockets these days. Did y'all see that Hayabusa launch with a little strut nation down at the bottom? It's amazing that the struts actually have the what was I saying? The struts actually help it decouple. Like, the struts decouple in certain phases so that they peel off on the Hayabusa in real life. I thought that was really cool when I saw that. Why not remove the center engine? 1.63, 1500 Delta V. Oh, that's a good question. Actually, Zagathi, that is a good question. That's actually a good idea. That is a good idea. For boot camp, I'm just going to keep it simple. Zagathi had a really great idea. If we remove the center engine and then put 2x symmetry fuel lines in, that may put us exactly where we need to be. A little bit too much Delta V, a little bit less thrust to weight, but that right there would go into orbit all day long. That's actually a great idea, dude. In your honor, I will launch that way. So what did I just do? I just put these two engines on the outside. I removed the center engine because we had too much thrust to weight. And I ran fuel on the center tank over to the outside tank so that we could actually feed the outside engines. I haven't talked about fuel lines. I usually don't talk about fuel lines and that sort of stuff in boot camp, but for now it's okay. By doing that, I was able to feed these engines using this fuel tank, and it's in 2x symmetry. You can see on both sides it's going out there. A little bit too much Delta V. I could take that off. 1.67. That's actually good. Dude, that was a great idea. Zagathi. Man. Add 5 Zagathi. There you go. Bam. Done deal. Added 5 to user Zagathi. Anything else? I think we're good to go. By the numbers, this thing goes to orbit very easily. Check it out. 4130 meters per second. 1.7-ish on the pad. It's a little low to thrust to weight there. That's okay. Oh, you know what we could do? Look, we could just remove this piece out. That's going to give that stage better Delta V. Look at that. 4005. Excellent. All right. That gave this stage a little bit more thrust to weight, and we took a little bit of the Delta V that we didn't need in. That actually works out really great. Oh, the double add? Take it. Just leave it. That's fine, dude. Zagathy, you can get the double ad. You can totally get the double ad, Zagathy. Got the double ad. Nice. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see it. The double ad. Dude, Elpom, how's it going? Welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. Look at that. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Anything else? Launch clamps. Okay, chat. Chat time. What did I forget? Did I forget anything at all? What else do I need? Launch clamps we definitely need. Staging. Okay. Launch clamps and staging. So let's put some launch clamps on there. The referee didn't see it. I wouldn't have seen it if Mysterious Mage hadn't said something. I totally wouldn't have seen that. Way to go, Mysterious Mage. Ratting out your students. Ratting out your co-students or whatever. Alright, what else do we need here? What else do we need here? Snacks, check. Stage them correctly, check. What else do I need? What else do I need? Fennekin Gamings. Thank you for the follow, Fennekin Gamings. I appreciate you. Welcome to Kerbal Bootcamp. Do you have solar panels? Kithakor. Yes, I do have solar panels. Thank you for checking. What else do we need? What else do we need? Tail fins? No, I'm not actually... I usually don't use tail fins on these rocket designs. Solar panels and batteries. I've got solar panels and batteries. I've got that battery. What I should probably do is lock the battery in here for emergency backup power. That's fine. Did anybody see? Did anybody see? I was just kidding. Parachutes. We've got parachutes, yes. Dr. Pepper. Yes, I've got Dr. Pepper. What's up, Mono Bobby? How's it going? Jake the Frog, yes. Jake the Frog, we've got ladders. I buy shorts. Large reaction wheel. That's actually a great point. That is a great point. I think what we're going to do is put a large reaction wheel right here. That is a great point, guys. Let's add some reaction wheels. The reaction wheels actually give me 3993, that's fine. The reaction wheels actually give me the ability to rotate, pitch, and yaw my craft without using fuel. They're electrical powered, and you need reaction wheels to make your craft controllable when you're in space, right? If you don't have reaction wheels or some sort of RCS reaction control system, you won't need anything. You'll need those things. You should just get those things. Just have them. You need some way to move your craft around, pitch, yaw, and roll it. This actually did have some reaction wheels on it. Look, the pods themselves come with reaction wheels. You see that? 15 units of torque, whatever the units are there, I don't actually know off the top of my head. 15 units of torque in that pod, plus another 5, so we've got 20 units of reaction wheel torque in there. That may have not been enough to move this entire rocket. The more reaction torque you have, the bigger rockets you can turn. So this over here, right checks. No, I totally need a config for that mod, the tweak scale, so I can tweak scale the Dr. Pepper can. Newton meter. It's Newton meters. Okay. Kerbal grams. Newton meters. Nice. All right. So its torque is in Newton meters apparently. It's not kilonewton meters. It's just Newton meters. Okay. So these right here, we've got the reaction wheels in there. I added this reaction wheel, which will give me a little bit more control authority. Again, this rocket it's kilonewton meters. Okay, thank you. That's what I thought it was, kilonewton meters. But how about a digital reaction wheel? I don't think that there's such thing as a digital reaction wheel. There are definitely magneto reaction, not wheels. There's magneto torquers which use electrical charge. But yeah. Monar, there's some very efficient forces in Monar. Okay, I think we're good. All right, moving right along. So I think this rocket is good to go. Drink, yes, Dr. Pepper. I think the last thing we need to do. Cal 2005 kilonewton meters, he says. I'm not sure. They don't. I wish. What sort of science game doesn't have units on its things, right? You don't ever put down numbers that don't have units. That's like the first no-no of science. Anyways, let's go through the staging. All right, can we see the staging? It's honestly easy enough. It's easiest to go through the staging out on the pad. Let me turn the chat off for just a second and let me talk to you about staging, okay? Let me just turn that off and turn that off. Over here on the right-hand side of the VAB, we have the staging. Remember how our rocket flies. When our rocket flies, we're going to use this stage first. When this stage is done, we're going to ditch it, and we're going to use this stage, our kicker stage. When that stage is done, we're going to ditch it, and we're going to activate this stage. When that stage is done, we're going to ditch it. That's what these clamps do. We're going to ditch it, and we're going to use our lander. So, on the right-hand side of the screen, it's actually, there you go, yeah, the right-hand side of the screen, we've got our staging tree, our staging list, whatever you want to call it. And that is going to show you the order that things occur in. I think we should be good. I think this rocket was simple enough that we don't have to worry about it, but let's just check it. At the very beginning, we are going to light the two main engines. Do you see that? Do you see how I pointed them? I pointed over here and they highlight on the screen. See them? They're turning green. First, when I do activate the first stave, yo mama, what's going on? Or yo mao, yo mama, yeah, it's yo mama. What's going on? Thanks for the follow. When I first activate this first stage, two things are going to occur. These engines are going to activate, and these launch clamps are going to release. You can see that that looks good. When I press spacebar again, that guy is going to go off, which is going to separate us. When I press spacebar again, that engine is going to go off. We actually don't need them to be separated like that. Arrow 01, is it better to put the decouplers in their own stages? I usually put them in the stage of the next engine. I usually do that as well. The only time when you need to worry about that is if the craft is going to destroy the previous stage when the engine turns on. That can happen. It can totally happen where if you light your next engine at the same time you decouple, the thrust from that engine will destroy or crash or something like that. That is usually the only reason you would need to decouple and then wait before you launch the next engine. That is usually the only reason. I'm going to go ahead and put them in the same stage. So we're going to decouple that and light that engine. Dude, Brady Gray, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. Did I miss somebody else as well? I got Brady Gray. And Max Poir. I don't know how to pronounce that. Max Poir. I know, I buy shirts. I just said out loud that I was going to turn the chat off. I don't know what else to do. I said out loud I was going to turn the chat off. I'm doing it so you can see the staging list over here. So that stage is going to go, and that engine's going to fire. Follow along with me. Then that stage is going to go, and that engine is going to fire. We'll put that in the same stage. Then that stage is going to go, and our two engines are going to fire. That's good. And then we're going to decouple, and then we're going to pop chutes. That should be bueno. That should be totally bueno. All right. Yep, Epic Studios, Mark. You are correct, but it's a little bit more. It's already too complicated. I'm trying to make it less complicated, and we've already gone too complicated. All right. Leaky Brains, I'm waiting for somebody to donate a pizza, is what I'm doing. I'm waiting for somebody to donate my dinner. Empty Rage, thanks for the follow. I appreciate you. Let's see here. We should be good. He should strut the orange tanks. That's actually a good idea. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more structural integrity. It's no use. We lost Nightbot. Really? That's lame. Let's go ahead and strut the orange tanks. Oh my gosh, it's getting on my nerves that those tanks aren't exactly aligned. Is that getting on anybody else's nerves? Because that's getting on my nerves just a little bit. That those tanks aren't aligned. Because usually I like to pretend that those gray bands are places that you can place struts. Right? I usually like to pretend that. Oh my goodness. Alright. Next follower is the 3400 follower. Chaos Maniac. Wow. Choas Maniac 467. Thanks for the follow, man. I appreciate you. Well, it still says 4229 for me, but it may take it a minute to refresh. That's okay. That's okay. Let's just click refresh. 4305, my number says. My number actually says 4305. 4,300 followers. Nice. Nice. Let's launch this thing. Aaron Zone, thanks for the follow. Taz Kaylor, thanks for the follow. There's another one. Who is that? Aaron Zone. I just got that one. Alright. Let's launch this thing, folks. This rocket is looking good. I think we've got the staging correct. I think we've got all of our Delta V correct. 3993, I'm pretty sure I can get that into orbit. We've got enough to do the transfer. We've got enough to do that. Nova DCP, actually. Welcome to Kerbal Bootcamp. I appreciate you. Alright, yeah, I hope it doesn't end up. I hope it doesn't end up either. Alright, let's see here. There was one! I thought you were kidding, Gene! I thought you were kidding! I totally thought you were kidding! I thought you were like, here, let me cook you a pizza! 555 from Pondafar. Gene SW says pizza, question mark, yum. What? With the $40 donation, dude. What sort of pizza am I supposed to get? That's a serious pizza. That is a serious pizza. Good night, Irene. Thank you, Gene. That, I mean, like I said, I never joke about pizza. I thought you were saying, like, oh, I'm going to put it in the oven and then I'll launch a rocket with a pizza on it or something like that. I thought you were saying you were going to, like, cook me a pizza. Oh, my gosh, dude, I was kidding, though. Thank you for that, though. Thank you for that. And Pondafar. 7-Eleven sells pizzas for $5.55 each. But I'd have to go. Pondafar, do you want me to stop the stream and go over to get it? Oh, my gosh. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. What is Nightbot doing? What is Nightbot doing? What is this? Oh, the DP tweak scale. Oh my gosh. I'll open that in a new Windows area, and that's amazing. There, I'll just open that over there. Thank you for that. Let me launch this thing into low Kerbal orbit. Let me launch this thing into low Kerbal orbit, and then I will order myself a pizza. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gene, dude. Pizza, yum. I don't know how much pizza is when you are, but where you are, but man, that's nuts. That is totally nuts. Thank you so much. Das, order the pizza on the stream. Mysterious Mage, no, I don't do that. That's a very bad policy. It's a bad habit to get into. I'll eat it on the stream, but I'm not going to order it on the stream. Will It Space? I think with what we've learned in boot camp, we're actually going to title this rocket, It Will Space. Period. Done. Save it. Gene, I'm not going to order it on the stream because of, like, addresses and that sort of stuff, you know. It's just best to completely unload the mic, completely unplug the mic so that nobody gets an address and that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? That is, I just don't ever want to make a mistake like that. So I usually completely unplug the mic. Usually order pizza from New York Pizza Department. Dude, are they $40 pizzas? Let's go ahead. Junarad, what's going on, man? Let's launch this thing. Let's go out there to the launch pad. Let's save it. Let's launch it. Drop it in your DP or tweak scale should work. May want to add the DP download on Kerbal stuff. Will do, will do. Yeah, it's just, I really, web order it. Web order it on the stream. Yes, I will totally, KSP Kamuchi, I will totally order it on the stream. I'll just be like, that's what I was going to do. Alright. Ah, yes. Let's continue going on here. This rocket is looking good. Let's put a good Kerbal crew. A lot of you have already been out there. I am going to pick new random winners here. Let's see. Oh, not that one. We need 3 brave Kerbals. We need 3 brave Kerbal cadets who believe in my abilities enough. Billy. Oh, geez. What? We need 3 brave Kerbal cadets. I'll read that. Mona Bobby, I'll read that in just a second. We need 3 brave Kerbal cadets who are going to get in this rocket and get out there and rescue Tie-Dye. Let's see who it's going to be. Let's see who it's going to be. Use Kerbal as your last name. Let's see here. Nope, it doesn't do any good to ask. It doesn't do any good to ask. It is completely random. The first winner is Mysterious Mage. There you go, Mysterious Mage. Guys, it's totally random. It's totally random. It's totally random. It doesn't do any good, so please don't spam me. Mysterious Mage is... Oh, and Mysterious Mage actually rolls a bad DOS tag. How about that? Mysterious Mage, dude, there you go. You get in the rocket. We will see how you do. Let's get another winner. Let's get another winner. It is going to be... It's completely random. It's completely random. WB Hokey. WB Hokey's getting in the rocket. Here we go. There you go. Our brave KSP runners are chosen at random before a mission. Asking won't help. You guys, you mods are so freaking amazing. I didn't even know that command exists. WB Hokey. WB Hokey is getting it. Oh, we should have sold tickets to be on the mission. We should have sold tickets to be on the mission. What? He says, oh god. WB Hokey, too bad, dude. Get in the rocket. And we are going to choose one more. We're going to choose one more. The last one. Winner, winner, chicken dinner is Errol01. Dude, new to the stream in the last day or two. New to the stream in the last day or two. Errol01, dude, congratulations. Oh my gosh, create a Kerbal. You're not Duden, you're Errol. Look at that roll, too. That's like a freaking epic roll. Full courage, almost no stupidity. That is amazing. Dude, good job, good job. Because the random number generator totally just completely randomly gave that to you. Good job for being randomly selected and randomly rolling. Alright, we've got our 3 brave people. What do you mean by you wrote a bad DOS tag? It's a good thing, Mysterious Mage. It's a good thing. It means that you laugh in the face of danger. You laugh in the face of danger. I should start raffling off space on the rocket. That actually makes a lot of sense. I should start doing that. I should start doing that. That actually makes a good, wow. Congrats to the new test subject, cadets for this mission. Here we go. We've got WB Hokey, Mysterious Mage, and Arrow 01 in the rocket. Let's see if it goes to space. Do our launch checklist. Throttle up. Check. That's pressing the Z key. Panel lock. Check. That's clicking up there. SAS engage. Press the T key. That turns on SAS. Staging final check. 4 launch clamps is good. 2 main engines is good. It looks like our staging is good. Staging. Go. Dr. Pepper. Go. Fuel. Go. Delta V. Go. Thrust to weight. Go. What else do we have? Rocket. Go. Moon mission. Go. Landing gear. Go. Solar panels. Go. Empty top pod. That's important. Empty top pod. Go. Who else? Who else? Anything else? I think we're good to go. Let's go 3. What is it? Clear to proceed. The last dude always said clear to proceed. DOS pilot. Clear to proceed. Snacks. Go. I love it. 3, 2, 1. Space. Cool guys don't look at rocket launches. Spartan parks his boat to get a good view. I clips off to the side. Alright. Put somebody in the top pod. Yeah, I know. And then leave him there and then just do the thing. Yes. 3, 2, 1, space, go. Sensei Steve says go. Red 5, go. I don't even know what else to say. Oh my goodness. So remember our launch profile here. We are going to go straight up with this rocket until we get to 10,000 meters. When we get to 10,000 meters, we are going to turn to a 45-degree pitch to the east. 45-degree pitch to the east. Should have put an external seat for the pickup. There is no boat downrange. You need to make a small boat and leave it downrange out of physics range on all your saves. We should totally do that. We should totally do that. Alright, moving right along. Moving right along. Pizza, go! Pizza's soon to be a go. Pizza's soon to be a go. Remember, the next giveaway is when we get to the moon orbit. There was 10 kilometers, and I'm going to pitch over to the east. I'm pressing the D key. That is pitching me over to the east. We are doing our orbital pitch maneuver. It's not technically a gravity turn. People love to say that. So we are doing our orbital pitch maneuver right here, and we are pitching over to the east. I'm also going to execute a roll program like this. We don't really need to with this rocket, but it just looks cool. There we go. So we are flying to space right like this. I'm going to fly at this 45-degree pitch, 90-degree heading, 45-degree pitch, until this stage burns out. Look at what's going to happen. When this stage burns out, actually I should have turned a little bit more. Jeez, that has a little bit more delta V than it needs. When that stage burns out, I'm going to go to the next stage. I'm going to switch to orbit mode, and I'm going to do what's called turn and burn. I'm going to burn lower than the nav ball like this, kind of at the edge of the nav ball. I'm going to burn lower like this until I get an apoapse, right there in engineer, an apoapse of 80K. So there's 77, 78, 79, a little bit, 80K. Now you'll see that apoapse is slowly decreasing. We're not quite out of the atmosphere yet. The atmosphere is still dragging on us a little bit, but we should be fine. We just got to get close enough. How do you get the SAS? You have it. You just press the T key. You just press the T key. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go out here. I want to complete this orbit, so I'm going to click on my apoapse. I'm going to add a maneuver. I'm going to pull prograde until I can see the maneuver on the other side of the planet, like that. Let's go pull it back a little bit. There we go. What is that? That's 81 by 76. Alright, that's not good. Pull it on back this way. And what I'm going to do is click and hold. Do you see how that white light, the white circle lit up? I click and hold there to bring that apoapse tag back in. And then I pull like that till I get a flip. As soon as I get that flip, there we go. That's 78. Jeez, oh Pete. What is that? 79.3 by 80. That's good enough. 80 by 79.7. Good enough. Close enough. It's going to be a minute 25-second burn coming up in 45 seconds. What? Doesn't make any sense. Let's go ahead and do the burn. We have a low thrust to weight here. We have a very low thrust to weight on our kicker. Oh, that's the problem. Wow, we have a low thrust to weight on the kicker. You were telling me that it only needed to be that 1.5 was too high. Not with that launch profile. 1.5 is not too high on that launch profile. I almost lost it there, but I think we'll be okay. I actually did start burning a little bit too low. I started burning a little bit too low. All right. Why is DOS oriented his nav ball top and bottom left to right? What does that mean? I meant to get to the SAS logo to switch to the spiny thing. The SAS logo to switch to the spiny thing. I don't understand that question. The spiny thing. The SAS logo to switch to the spiny thing. I am not grokking. I am not picking up what you're putting down. Oh, the rocket's always. How do we orient a nav ball like mine? What do you mean? How do we orient the nav ball? I'm missing that. Let me get in orbit and I'll catch up on that. I'll catch up on that. Huh. I will catch up on that. I don't really spinny thing. Oh, the spinny thing, not the spiny thing. Alright, so I'm just going to burn like this. I am going to burn like this. And when this stage runs out, I should be just about in orbit. We left a little bit of space junk. We had like 5 meters per second of delta V too much. I can go ahead and stage. I can complete the orbital burn using this stage. And I think that may be okay. That's right there what I wanted. 82 by 75. Close enough. Close enough. So let's see here. I am now in orbit. I have left that stage behind. Oh, I've got some fashionable orange lights on. Lights off. There we go. So I am now in orbit. Let me get set up for this orbit. Let me go ahead and extend these solar panels. Right like that. There we go. Let's extend those solar panels so they can start charging the batteries. And I am going to read chat and get caught up with chat here to see what's going on. Let me go into screensaver mode. We are successfully in orbit. Let me roll the craft there. That's Q and E. Roll the craft. And let me get caught up with chat and see if there are any other questions. Let me see if there are any other questions. The spinny thing. I see. Gene's got it there. You mean the spinny thing. That means that the game is trying to use your control authority to orient the craft the way you want it. That's what the little arrow thing means. Q and E rolls the ship. Okay, gotcha. What's the lowest possible orbital altitude would be 1 meter or 0.1 meter or 0.01 meters. It would just be really hard to maintain. It's 70 to actually be in space. 70 is when you're out of the atmosphere. Alright, Q and E rolls the ship. Yeah, Q and E is rolling the ship. Let me see if I missed anything else in chat, and then I'm going to order myself a pizza, then we're going to go to the moon. Q and E. Okay, we can roll. I did not know that. Bro Dave, yeah, Q and E will roll your ship like this. About its axis. Q and E are what I'm doing that with. Yeah, you can see it. You can see it on there. Okay, good deal. Let me see if I missed anything else. Spinny thing. I think we got that one as well. I'm not launching the rocket sideways. 2 or 3 releases ago, they changed the orientation of the VAB. It used to be that when you oriented it, your dorsal side had east behind you. For some reason, I don't know why, they flipped it so that the dorsal side is inside the VAB, the flag is behind it, and so when you go up, you are actually launching it sideways, but that's the stock game. I don't understand why they flipped it. You press D to go instead of leaning over on your back or something like that. I don't understand why. Does anybody understand why they did that? I don't think it makes any sense, but whatever. To switch to the spinning thing. Okay, we got that one. Why is DOS orientation on his nav ball top and bottom, not left and right? Okay, we've got that one as well. We're sending my green avatar to a moon rescue mission. Isn't pitch supposed to be up and down? Actually tilting east. That would be right. Well, no, it's pitch. It is up and down, Monobobby. It is up and down because the horizon is 0. Straight up is 90. So when we lean over to the east, that is pitching 45 degrees. We're going from pitching straight up to pitching 45 degrees at an easterly 90-degree heading. That's what that is. It's definitely pitching to 90 degrees. Start burning 30 seconds before the node. Yeah, with the node, this didn't have enough thrust to weight. The burn was too long, but that's okay. Did I miss anything else? Q&E rolls the ship. Your microphone nuked out. Wait. No, I'm still talking. Sounding fine, yeah. Solar panels clipping through the fuel lines. What? Oh, no! No, the covers for the solar panels are clipping through the fuel lines. Whatever shall we do? That's our emergency cutoff switch. Such lack of fashion. Such lack of fashion. So sad. So sad. Where will you travel next? We're gonna get the Orion into orbit. Mission is a go, dude. Cal 2501, you're correct. Mission is a go. Don't warp gives you more time to talk. Yeah, I never warp whenever I'm out there. Dash just joined. What have I built while you're gone? We've got a moon mission rescue. A moon mission rescue is what's going on there, Delta Squirrel. They did it because the rest didn't make sense either. Do you want to go to the right, east? That's why they changed it. But why wouldn't you just lean over on your back to go east? Right, east? I don't think that makes a lot of sense. How long does boot camp go on for? It's going to be like, another couple hours. Another couple hours. But it spawns your ship with a pitch up, down, access along the north-south now. Yeah, but no one ever launches north-south. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to me. You've talked about pizza and or Dr. Pepper, and that leads me to question. Am I from Texas? I am. I am definitely from Texas. Das, how long to boot camp? I just did that one. City Builder, welcome to the stream. Up north is why. Up north. That doesn't make any sense to me. How much Delta V do I need to go from the moon back to Kerbal? Mystified mustard. You need about 800 or 900 to get back home. 1,000 if you're new to it, but 800 or 900 will get you home from the surface of the moon. From the surface of the moon. So it's facing north. It might have been. That doesn't make any sense. Self-destruct. You will fix the clipping. If you're gonna launch this, can I repair my ship? Sure, dude. KSV Kamuchi, go for it. He's doing just followed, and I don't know. I'm just going, Hank. I'll get you in a second. I'll get you in a second. Motion is acting as pitch, but the command to do it is the orientation is yawing, Das. The motion and act is pitching, Das, but the command to do it in the default orientation is yawing. Oh, I gotcha. I actually rolled over. I see what you're saying. You're saying it relative to the ship as opposed to yawing over. Yawing over. I gotcha, yeah. So if you roll over, then you would pitch up and down because of the nose. I will buy that. I will buy that. The trick is we're supposed to be doing our roll program beforehand. So why everybody calls it the orbital pitch maneuver. It's not the orbital yaw maneuver. I guess that would just come down to what axis your rocket is reached around to. All right. Duna and back in one mission, 2,000. Duna and back in one mission is only 2,000 Delta V from low Kerbal orbit. Do I have deadly range on? No, I do not. That's your pitching during your pitch maneuver when the yaw commands, Das. I gotcha, Igor, I gotcha. We call it the orbital pitch maneuver because it's not a gravity turn. You can never please anybody. Jeez, oh Pete. It's like you call it a gravity turn and people are like, that's not a gravity turn. Gravity turns don't have any control authority put into them. And then you call it an orbital pitch maneuver and people are like, you're not pitching, you're yawing. You should totally call it an orbital yaw maneuver. Oh my gosh. That doesn't make any logic to me. That doesn't make any logic to me. Was that an okay? Yes, Kamuchi, go for it. Guys, I need to order a pizza. I've got to eat something. I've got to eat something. I've got to eat something, so I'm going to order a pizza, then we're going to do the transfer. Let me put you all in screensaver mode. We're already there. Our brave Kerbonauts are good to go. Let me get the pizza done right quick. I will just sit here. What are the solar panels for? They charge the batteries. Tell them to take it up with NASA. Say beginning my orbital maneuver. Oh my gosh. Gravity assist maneuver. No, but it's not a gravity assist maneuver. It's not a gravity assist maneuver. Relative to the navball, he is decreasing the pitch though. Oh my gosh. Why do you want me to... Oh, you want to take some screenshots or something? That's fine. Yeah, I'll do that. There you go. Let me put you in screensaver mode. I actually just need one that's just the game. I need one that's just the game. Although I'm not going to remove the donation. So if you donate while I'm getting my pizza, you're more than welcome to do it. Alright, let me see here. Oh my gosh. Brosidon's got my back. Actually, Dosh, pitch versus yaw is irrelevant in a cylindrical object such as a rocket. I like that. I like that. I like that. Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Let me see if I've missed anything. Moderator. I need to order a pizza. Alright. I'm actually going to unplug my mic. I will be right back, and I'm going to order myself a pizza. Here we go. Where's my be right back tag? We are going to get to the moon. We are going to rescue those Kerbals. Don't delay. Wait, don't despair. Wait, don't leave. Wait, don't go anywhere. Wait, whatever. Just, anyways. I'll be back. And I'm back. And I'm back. Seriously, Sensei Steve, how long does it take to order a pizza? Can't a guy hit the head or whatever? Jeez, man. That's rough. That's rough. Gosh. So I totally decided. Here, let me get back my camera. I totally decided what I was going to be calling that maneuver. I'm going to be calling it... Hang on, let me get the camera on. There you go. I'm totally going to be calling it the starboard to dorsal orbital maneuver. The starboard to dorsal orbital maneuver. That's what I was going to think of doing. Sharkface, what's going on? Ooh ha ha. It's bait, but whatever. Super VOD. That is actually something that I may be doing when the next release comes out. If you didn't know, the next release is going to be a big deal. It's going to be very difficult to play in career mode. Very difficult. If you watched Squadcast on Friday, you heard that it's going to be very, 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 very difficult, roguelike, insanely hard to play in career mode. So I am definitely going to start teaching people to do it. I will be doing some bootcamp career modes. I am definitely thinking about that. I haven't, geez, I don't know. Sephiroton, I don't know. Sharkface, ooh ha ha. But yes, I am going to do something like that. I've got Planet Shine. I've already got Planet Shine in. I've got Planet Shine. I have Planet Shine installed. JAC Minecraft Live. I'm definitely using Planet Shine. My chat is off. Thank you. There you go. My chat's back on now. Pizza's on the way. It should be like 45 minutes. See if we can't get out to moon orbit. Let me see if I missed anything. Let's see if I missed anything. Point the correct direction maneuver. The point the correct direction maneuver. Let's see here. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you for asking again. I just saw that again. Let me see if I missed anything. There was Broside, and I remember seeing that. Igor, I hope you got a screenshot. I hope you got a screenshot. I did drink when the drink meter went off. What's the difference between the 1x6 solar panels? Yeah, Errol, it's just fashion. It's just fashion. There are weight differences in the enclosed versus non-enclosed, but it's just fashion. Throws my half-eaten box of pizza at DOS. Static, dude, I appreciate that, but I'm gonna get a fresh pizza. Hawaiian pizza, by the way. Can I get some Hawaiian pizza hype in my channel? Hawaiian pizza is delicious. I'm gonna ban you forever if you think it's not. Where did DOS go? Peekaboo, Arbrimmer! I disappear! No persistence of vision, I don't even know what to tell you. Or persistence of whatever it is when kids don't remember that you're there. Does DOS own any guns? Well, I'm from Texas. I don't know what to tell you about that. DOS is trying to sit still and don't move. Yep, that's correct. I made it back. I'm here. You got a Harvard beam. Dude, the first time I won Faster Than Light, Destroyer James, the first time I won Faster Than Light, I had 2 Harvard beams and 2 ions. That was serious business. I was just tearing people up. Dude, Elliot Sir, Mr. Stabby 1981, and Mamlo1, thanks for the follows, guys. I appreciate y'all. I do appreciate it. Let me see if I missed anything else. I don't even know what you guys are talking. Yeah, I hate that feature. I hate that feature because of the contrast from Kerbal. Oh my gosh, I hate the feature where it turns off the stars. I know it's realistic. Evil Delirious, what's going on, man? Let's see here. Does DOS have Planet Shine? Yes, he does. Anti-Bio Beam. I've never actually used Anti-Bio Beam. ABB and an HB. A Hubbard and an Anti-Bio Beam? Alright. Anyways, moving right along. What's going on with his orbit? Nothing, I'm just in orbit. Moving right along. Did I miss anything else? I did also go over to the bathroom and that sort of stuff. Got myself a drink. Anyone got the crew? Lorcan W. Smith, dude. Welcome to the channel. Don't recognize you, so welcome. Bozonator just landed a Christmas tree on the moon! Oh my gosh, that's beautiful, Bozonator. That is beautiful. I require additional screenshots, Bozonator. I require additional screenshots. What's up, Sensei Steve? DOS, no sound. I should have sound. I have sound. I see OBS telling me that I'm broadcasting sound. I don't know what to tell you about that. You need a drink? I've been drinking. I was drinking. Cheers, though. Thanks for reminding me. Super VOD. We talked about the boot camps. Planet Shine. I've got Planet Shine. I do have Planet Shine. Why not just call it the point? Okay, I remember seeing that one. Mona Bobby, you had a great question, Mona Bobby. Dosk, I asked earlier. Chat wall. Das, I asked earlier, you've probably forgotten at this point. I did, and thank you for reminding me. I do that sometimes. Is there a reason to strut parts in a way that these struts are placed horizontally and not diagonally? It's just a fashion statement. Mona Bobby, the most important thing with struts is to put them on symmetrically. So you don't want to have struts where on one side the strut is at one angle and on another side the strut is at another angle. You don't want to do that because the struts will actually transmit force to the other pieces of the craft. And if the struts aren't symmetrical, the craft, even if the craft looks symmetrical, the struts will transmit the force asymmetrically and your craft will turn whenever you're flying. So the most important thing is to put those struts even. With that specific situation, what I was doing, I was putting them straight to make it easier for me to make sure that these struts were put on symmetrically. I put on one set on one side, I put on another set on another side. That's 4 total struts using 2 placements, and I put them flat so I could make sure they were completely symmetrical. Now, does putting them at an angle versus putting them flat in that situation make a difference? No, it doesn't really. I just put them flat because I like to go ahead and make sure that I can put them symmetrically on the craft. That's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Okay, I got that one. Yeah, you could put them diagonally. I've built rockets with them diagonally. I just usually, in that situation, try to put them flat so I can make sure that the 2 sets are both symmetrically. Drink meter weight off. I totally got it. Das, I got news. I got my first Patreon subscriber, so now I can afford to go turbo on Switch, and I have my vid saved for longer than 14 days. Dude, Malice Draco, I'll have to talk to you, dude, after the stream. You got the little turbo thing. Nice. I got the turbo thing too, and I turned it off because I felt like pretentious. I was like, oh my gosh, people are gonna think I'm weird. You can actually turn off the little battery thing if you want to, but that is a huge deal because now your videos will be up for 60 days instead of 15 days. 60 days instead of 50 days. Dude, that's a huge deal. And I totally want to talk to you about the Patreon thing and see like what your thoughts are on getting signed up and stuff. It's something I've been looking at. It is something I've been looking at. Thank you for the report, dude. Will you do a bootcamp with 5 print? No, I probably won't do a bootcamp with fine print. I probably would do a fine print bootcamp. I probably won't do a fine print bootcamp because it's going to be included in. Melker, why is it going to be harder? It's going to be harder because you're not going to have orbital views or be able to launch a craft or do anything in the new game. You're not going to be able, it's going to be limited by weight and part count. The tracking station, until you pay millions of dollars to upgrade the tracking station, you're not even going to be able to see your orbital line, I think. I don't know, I haven't played it. But from what Max Maps was saying, it's going to basically remove all the information out of the game. It's going to limit what you can launch, and it's going to remove the information out of the game. You're not even, like, on the map view, if I heard him correctly, when you start the game, you're not even going to be able to see your orbit. You're not going to be able to plot maneuver nodes. You're not going to be able to see your orbit. It honestly sounds like it's going to be insanely difficult for new players to start a new career until you really, like, know what's going on.